8-Bit Dylan. Time for the intro to my videos. Just make weird noises with your mouth. Previously on Big Brother, it all came down to the final veto to determine who would move on to the final 3 of this competition. Everyone ran as long as they could, but in the end, Nick Dominates was able to secure the final power of veto and used it to keep the nominations the same. Using this opportunity to get yet another person out of the game that was a threat, Lifesimmer voted to evict Sky Does Minecraft from the Big Brother house. Now we're down to Nick Dominates, Lifesimmer, and Keemstar. One of them will win the final head of household. Who will it be? Find out now on Big Brother. Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of YouTuber Big Brother, Heroes vs. Villains. In today's episode, we'll be doing the final head of household competition, and either Nick Dominates, Lifesimmer, or Keemstar will win that HOH and be guaranteed a spot in the final 2. Then we'll go into the nomination ceremony where obviously the other 2 people will be nominated for eviction, and whoever is the HOH will decide who will sit next to them in that final 2 spot. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be intense. I hope you guys are excited as I am. Comment down below who you're rooting for. Make sure to leave a like down below and turn notifications on to the channel so that way you'll know when the finale happens on Friday. And let's get started with this 3-part head of household competition. For those of you that have never taken part or have seen any of my other reality show series and don't know how the final 3 works, basically, the 3 competitors will face off in a 3-part challenge. Whoever wins the first part of the challenge will automatically move on to part 3. Then the 2 people who lost part 1 will then go head-to-head against each other, and then whoever wins that part 2 will then go up against who moved on to part 3. And then those 2 people will go fight to the death, sort of. Not really, but they'll be fighting against each other, and whoever wins that fight will be the winner of the final head of household. So just warning you guys now, this episode might be a lot shorter than the rest of the episodes of the series simply because we are only doing the challenge in this episode. And then at the end of the episode, you should go down into that poll link in the description down below, fill it out for who you want to win this game because your vote will count in the end. All right, let's get them all started for the first competition. So for our first part of this competition, we're gonna be doing a classic Don't Wake the Llama. How this challenge works is everyone will be taking logs out of the tower. The goal is to keep the llama at the very top. If the llama ends up falling down off of the tower and the tower collapses, that person is eliminated from part 1 of this challenge. It's easy, it's simple, let's get started. And I'm so sorry, Keemstar, you have been eliminated from part 1 of this competition. It's now Lifesimmer versus Nick Dominates. It's time for round number 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. with that, congratulations, Nick dominates. You're moving on to part 3 of this competition, and you're one step closer to being the very last head of household for this game. This does mean that Life Simmer and Keemstar will face off against each other in part 2. Here we go, guys. It's time for part 2 of this HOH competition. We've got Life Simmer versus Keemstar in a crafting competition. What they're gonna have to do is run over to their bonsai tree and shape it correctly using their gardening skill. Then they'll have to run up to the wood crafting table and craft a horse statue. The first person to finish their horse statue will be moving on to part 3 of this competition and go head to head against Nick Dominates for that title of HOH. Hopefully you guys understand the rules. Let's get this competition started. Congratulations to Keemstar. He is the winner of part 2 of this challenge, which does mean, I'm so sorry, Life Simmer, you have been eliminated from this head of household competition. And now we have our final 2 face off against one another, Keemstar versus Nick Dominates for the title of HOH. It's now time for the final part of this head of household competition. Nick Dominates and Keemstar will actually physically fight each other. And that's when we're gonna find out exactly who will win and what our final 2 will look like. 14 competitors, several weeks of gameplay. It all comes down to this final fight. Who are you guys rooting for? Nick Dominates or Keemstar? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's get this fight started. Now, before I begin the fight, I will state that I've already recorded all of their relationships. So even though when they get in a fight, it's gonna ruin their relationships, don't worry. That will not affect the jury votes at all. It'll all come down to what they had before this fight happened. So don't worry about that. It's time for the fight to begin. 3, 2, 1, go. And the winner is Keemstar. Congratulations, Keemstar. You are moving on to the final 2, and you will decide who you will take with you into that final 2. Either Nick Dominates or Life Simmer. Wow, talk about an insane season. I'm honestly shocked. I can't believe a villain made it all the way to the final 2. That is super impressive. Oh, they're still fighting. Oh, girl. Ooh, they are still yelling at each other. That's how much they hate each other. And let's find out who Keemstar thinks that he can beat in the final 2. It's time for the eviction ceremony. Talk about an insane season. I never in a million years would have thought that Keemstar would have made it into the final 2 of YouTuber Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains, but here we are now. And now Keemstar gets the final say of who he wants to take with him into that final 2 and who he thinks he might have a chance at beating. He has great reasons to get rid of both of you. LifeSimmer, you've been a huge competition threat as well as a huge social threat in making key alliances and helping pick off people in this game. Meanwhile, Nick Dominates, you played a very silent game. You were very under the radar, but you also had strong relationships with a lot of the people that were voted out. Both of you pose a huge threat to Keemstar's game, but only one of you will be evicted right now. So Keemstar, it's time to state who is leaving this game in the final 3. I'm so sorry, Nick Dominates. You have been evicted from the Big Brother house and you're the final member of the jury. I am so sorry, Nick Dominates. I know so many people are gonna be so mad in the comments down below, but if you had won this final HOH, I have no doubt you would have a strong argument to win this game. And Keemstar was smart to get you out, because what LifeSimmer and Keemstar did throughout this entire game is they made a lot of enemies. They made a lot of people mad throughout the cast, and they made sure that they were the ones that were sending people home. Meanwhile, Nick Dominates was the person who was very under the radar and still developed really good relationships with a lot of the people that are still in the jury. If Keemstar had kept you around, that could have meant a lot of votes that wouldn't be possibly thrown his way. And so because of that, because you were such a threat to the final 2 game, Nick Dominates, you have been evicted from the Big Brother house, and it's time for you to walk outside those doors. And there he goes. Now, before I can congratulate the final 2 in this game, we must watch as the final portrait fades to black and white. LifeSimmer, Keemstar, you guys played an amazing game, and you're now the final 2 of YouTuber Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains, but the game is no longer in your hands. The jury will now help decide who will be the winner of this entire competition, as well as the viewing public that has been watching this series from the very beginning. So, if you are watching this right now and you are a huge fan of the series and you want to help decide who the winner of this show will be, in the description down below is a link to a poll that you guys must fill out. Let me know exactly who you want to win, and whoever gets the most votes will get another jury vote towards them in the finale. Now remember guys, just because LifeSimmer has a bigger fan following in the comments down below does not mean she will win this game. If season 2 of YouTuber Big Brother is any indication at all, it's proven that just because someone's a fan favorite does not mean that they will win this game. So good luck to you, LifeSimmer. Good luck to you, Keemstar. I will see you guys on Friday with the finale of YouTuber Big Brother Heroes vs. Villains. And until then, stay awesome, stay beautiful, you lovely people. Bye-bye.